We all know the long-lasting character James Arness portrayed in Gunsmoke as Marshal Matt Dillon. However, even though he changed into recognized for being professional and pleasant, there has been one co-famous person he simply failed to vibe with on set as their extraordinary methods of running and interacting came to light. Matters commenced to get anxious. This created a piece of a downer for his or her typically a laugh organization. Who was this forged member, and what made Arness want to have them replaced? Gunsmoke is well known for being the longest strolling Western in Hollywood, and it had its proportion of drama backstage too. Stick around as we dive into this unexpected split and what it's supposed for. For one of the most famous TV shows ever, it aired for a brilliant 20 years, from 1955 to 1975, in the course of a time when Westerns have been all of the rage on TV. Even though the style lost steam afterward, Gunsmoke remained the top dog, becoming a true classic that everybody loved. The show had a thrilling tale and interesting characters, making it terrific, famous with visitors. Gunsmoke modified with the instances and became a big part of pop culture whilst tastes shifted to other genres. Families seemed forward to gathering every week to look Marshal Matt Dillon serve up justice, preserving it a need-to-watch show in TV history. It commenced as a radio show and made the soar to television, adapting its format to keep up with what humans desired. It kicked off as a 30-minute black and white application and later developed into an hour-long show. Finally, it even switched to full color, which in reality boosted its visible appeal. Each trade made turned into all about staying fresh and thrilling. Gunsmoke became a classic and is now one of the longest walking scripted dramas obtainable. Gunsmoke was a game-converting radio display that ran from 1952 to 1961. Before kicking off a successful TV model, the radio series became praised for its realistic take on the Wild West and gripping stories, even after it moved to television in 1955. The radio display kept going for some other 6 years, sincerely cementing its function as a pioneer in enjoyment. The radio model set the degree for the TV collection, ensuring each saved the equal vibe. At the start, John Wayne turned down the danger to play Marshal Matt Dillon. The mythical actor turned into asked to take on the position, but said no due to the fact the filming timetable turned into too extreme. Even though he exceeded at the element, Wayne backed the show and recorded a promotional intro for the pilot, giving Gunsmoke some critical big-name electricity in the end. James Ayres stepped in and certainly made the man or woman his personal, leaving an enduring mark. Before he started out his performing profession, James Arness served in the U.S. Army as part of the 1/3 Infantry Department during World War II. He certainly participated in the Allied invasion of Anzio. Italy's status at 6'7" and tall, he became best for gambling. All sorts of roles. His studies as a 1-1 veteran helped him understand life's hard moments. The studio and writers were absolutely seeking out someone who ought to handle a lot, and he simply matched that bill for the duration of Gunsmoke. His person, the Marshal, faced all sorts of challenges. There have been shootouts, physical assaults, stabbings, and even a poisoning incident at one point. This position turned into just meant for James Arness, and stepping into it did not require a great deal change on Amy Stock, who collaborated with him on 4 Gunsmoke films, highlighting how seamlessly the Marshal transitioned from being off responsibility to conducting action on display. She remembered that the primary time she encountered him, he became dressed in the Dillon hat, coat, and 2 tennis shoes he became, was casually sitting in his chair nonetheless in his tennis shoes, whilst the filmmakers known as Out We Are geared up for you on set. He then removed his tennis footwear and put on his cowboy boots in he headed immediately for his horse. And similar to that, he morphed into Matt Dillon. She remarked that he changed into the right choice for the position. Whilst Amanda Blake acquired her function in the Western TV series Gunsmoke, she changed into in her mid-20s and pleased. She labored difficult to stable the part of Miss Kitty and felt fortunate to proportion the display screen with James Arness, who performed Marshal. Matt Dillon audiences quickly loved Amanda's depiction of Miss Kitty, the proprietor of the neighborhood saloon in Dodge City. Her appearance truly stood out, whilst the display transitioned from black and white to color. In its 1966 season, which came about halfway through its length, Gunsmoke commenced airing in 1955 and continued till 1960. 975, totaling 20 seasons. James Arness remained with the collection for all 20 seasons as Matt Dillon at the same time as Amanda Blake concluded her role as Miss Kitty during the 19th season during the collection. The writers failed to delve deeply into the specifics of Matt and Miss Kitty's dating, however. It turned into clear that there was a deeper connection between them throughout his performing profession. Arness handled accidents he got for the duration of the conflict on the set of Gunsmoke. Unique arrangements had been made to help ease his soreness. They filmed the more motion-heavy scenes within the early morning, earlier than his knees and feet started out to hurt an excessive amount of even with those challenges. Arness changed into dedicated to his function, showing resilience like his man or woman. As Gunsmoke ran for 20 seasons, Ares' injuries got worse because of extreme arthritis. The manufacturing crew changed into careful about scheduling his scenes so he could get the relaxation he wanted. However, notwithstanding the whole thing, he nevertheless had a strong presence on display, proving his dedication and professionalism. William Conrad turned into the voice of Matt Dillon on the radio, however. The manufacturers felt he would not be a good fit for the TV version. James Ares' tall and rugged appearance made him a higher in shape for the heroic marshal. Still, Conrad went on to have a successful profession in each movie. And television in the second to final season of The Display, Gary Bai had a memorable position as Harv. Each day he ended up being the closing character to die on Gunsmoke, which turned into a pretty massive deal within the series. History while it got here to Miss Kitty Russell, she initially had a one-of-a-kind vibe as a madam inside the radio version. However, on TV, they had to tone it down due to stricter policies, so she was shown as a respected enterprise proprietor of the Long Branch Saloon instead. This alteration made her more relatable and helped The Display connect higher with viewers. The very first scene kicked things off with Matt Dillon in a gunfight, which set the tone for The Display. But as anti-violence movements picked up steam inside the 70s, networks pushed for a softer technique, so Gunsmoke revamped its establishing collection to in shape. In with the changing times at the same time as still maintaining the core topics of the show. Intact in 1967, CBS intended to cancel Gunsmoke to introduce new suggests. However, because of fan backlash and guide from executives, Gilligan's Island was ultimately canceled as a substitute. The series turned into ultimately relocated to Monday nights, where it continued to prevail with a complete of 635 episodes over 20 seasons. Gunsmoke maintained the report for the highest quantity of episodes of any prime-time scripted series for decades. This file remained until 2018 when The Simpsons overtook it. Regardless, Gunsmoke continues to be identified as one of television's primary accomplishments. James Arness changed into recognized for being an easygoing big name, however. He had one exquisite exception, Amanda Blake, who played Miss Kitty Russell. There are reviews that personal conflicts and innovative differences caused some tension between them, even though Blake became a fan, preferred, and a key man or woman for 19 seasons. She and Arash didn't get along very well, and he even wanted she would depart the show. But despite their problems, Gunsmoke became a beloved classic due to the fact both characters had been truly likable. It made experience for viewers to assume a romance blooming among them. However, the chemistry among them wasn't just fan hypothesis. Miss Kitty regularly wore fashionable clothes and poured drinks for wild cowboys who every so often overindulged. Plus, she changed into continually there to listen and offer advice about their cowboy tales. This portrayal genuinely failed to healthy the picture of a Sunday faculty trainer in 195.5, or what a decent female changed into anticipated to act like within the Wild West Miss Kitty. Between Matt Dillon and Miss Kitty, they believed that introducing romance would disrupt the Western surroundings of The Display and will doubtlessly alienate some viewers. Blake humorously commented at the antique Western stereotype that heroes are extra inquisitive about their horses than in girls, assuring anybody that Dillon's emotions for Kitty were a ways deeper than his bond with his horse. She stated that Gunsmoke became crafted to resonate with a various target market. The usage of the allure of the Old West to connect to viewers of every age, due to its emphasis on ancient components. There wasn't tons opportunity for romantic storylines. Blake influenced lovers to envision the romantic possibilities between Kitty and the Marshal because the collection itself didn't offer any definitive romantic scenes. Arness went directly to big name within the collection How the West Was Won, the police drama McLean's Regulation, and played Jim Bowie in the television film The Alamo, 13 Days to Glory. However, the cast from Gunsmoke came collectively again in 1987, whilst John Mantley reintroduced Amanda for the primary of the TV movies Gunsmoke, lower back to Sidestep, written through Jim Burns, when Gunsmoke concluded in 1975. It did not have a tremendous finale. The cancellation of the display becomes surprising, leaving its audience without an experience of closure, unlike modern television collection that often plan emotional goodbyes. Gunsmoke wrapped up with a normal episode, nevertheless its legacy maintains through reruns and the loved reminiscences of its loyal fanatics.